Hi, and welcome to Series 3 of the Australia Academy Dern History Revision podcast. This series is going to focus on early Elizabethan England. As always, this will be a collection of around 5 to 8 minutes of podcast focusing on different aspects of the Elizabethan course. It's not meant to replace your regular revision sessions. What it's here to do is to fill in those little gaps on the way to school, before your tea's ready, little things like that. Don't forget, if you find this useful, we do have a Series 1 and Series 2. Series 1 focuses on medicine and the Western Front, and Series 2 focuses on Weimar and Nazi Germany. There will be a Cold War episodes coming soon once I've finished the Elizabeth session. Okay, let's get started. So this is episode 6 and will be the final episode of the series on early Elizabethan England. And I'm going to focus on Walter Raleigh, Virginia and general exploration this time. So the first thing we're going to look at is, why was there an increase in exploration? Well, there are 4 main reasons why more people are travelling the world. The first one just comes down to the ships. The quality of the ships, the design of the ships, they're faster, they're stronger, they can take the battering of the waves much better, so people feel a lot safer travelling the world in these new ships. The second reason is navigation. Okay, new devices, new technology have been invented so that people are less likely to get lost. They can use the stars, they can work out their position on the globe. So if they are going across, for example, the Atlantic Ocean on the way to the New World in America, they're less likely to go off course and get lost at sea. There's a huge sense of adventure in England at this time. You know, people wanted to be the heroes that went off and found lands that hadn't been discovered before. So that real sense of adventure is another reason why people travelled. And then the final one is Sir Francis Drake. He makes exploration sexy, for want of a better phrase. Okay, he's gone around the world, he's been to foreign lands, he's come back mega rich, he's been given a knighthood. Everybody wants to be like Drake. So there's that real sense of that celebrity endorsement, that everybody wants to do what the big celebrity famous people are doing, which is at this stage Sir Francis Drake. Then we have another guy that comes on the scene, and this is Walter Raleigh. Walter Raleigh is a member of the gentry. He's an explorer. He knows what he's doing when he's going at sea. And Elizabeth hires him, if you like. She gives him a grant, she gives him some money, because she wants him to explore North America. She wants him to find a place in North America that isn't owned by the Spanish, something that maybe can become part of England. And what Riley's going to do is he's going to create a blueprint, a way, a model that's going to allow people to settle in America. He's not going to do it himself. He's no interest in going over to America and settling in America and being sort of the governor or anything like that in that place. He's got quite a nice cushy life back in England. But he is going to create this model that other people are going to be able to follow, making North America a part of England. So the first trip to North America as part of this exploration detail is in 1584. And this is just quite simply a fact-finding expedition. Okay, what are the areas? What's it going to be like? What are we going to need? Okay, they find the Native Americans to be quite hospitable. They trade with them. They get along quite well. And actually, the area that is now known as Virginia today was described as paradise. It's going to be a beautiful place to settle. This essentially is propaganda. It's a way of lying to people to get people to go there. So, a year later, 1585, we get the first colonisation trip. The plan is to take 300 people to settle in this new land and make it part of England. Unfortunately, they only get 107. They don't get the full 300. All of these are men, and half of them are soldiers. So they're not taking the right people, and this will play a part later on. All the people that go, these 107 people that take this chance, they're all promised they're going to make their fortune. They're going to go over there, they're going to find riches beyond their wildest dreams, they're going to live in this absolute paradise. It's total nonsense. So, it doesn't work. It's a complete failure. And there are 5 reasons why it's a failure. The first is the voyage itself. The voyage goes really, really badly. The ship that they take springs a leak. Salt water gets into the hull, and that's where they've stored all their seeds and all their food that they're going to need to survive when they get to America. So that all gets destroyed. So when they get to America, there's no food, there's very little seed that have survived. But even if that hadn't happened, they didn't set off at the right time. So when they arrived in America, they've arrived too late, which means they're not able to plant anything to therefore reap the harvest the following year. So they have to wait almost a year before they're able to even plant anything, which means they're having to rely on other things. Okay, and this comes into point number 3. The reality doesn't meet the expectations. The dream of this paradise that they've been sold doesn't happen. Okay, there are no precious metals in the ground. There's no gold rush, for want of a better phrase. They're left foraging for nuts and berries in trees and things like that. It is not what they were told. Okay, the big dream, the big pitch that they got about how amazing this place was going to be does not meet the reality of what they actually find. The fourth reason is the Native Americans. Now, the Native Americans are not as pleasant to them as they expected them to be. Okay, the Native Americans don't cooperate anywhere near as much that they thought they would. They take advantage of the Native Americans, so they ask them to help them hunting, show that they don't really know what they're doing. The Native Americans do it for them. They then become reliant on the Native Americans. The Native Americans turn against them. There's a whole sort of toxic relationship going on between the colonists and the Native Americans. And then the final reason, probably the main reason why this whole thing fails, is because they just took the wrong people. Okay, they didn't take good, experienced farmers and hunters because those people already had a good quality of life in England, so had no reason to give up and go to America. The people that did give up their homes and their jobs in England were the people that weren't doing very well. So how, if they can't farm in England, how are they supposed to be able to farm in America? Okay, they took a mathematician with them, for God's sake. You know, what's he going to do when he goes to America? How is he going to help the colonists, do their sums? That's not what they needed. They just took the wrong people with the wrong qualifications, with the wrong experience, with the wrong expertise. It was a bad choice of people that they took. So it fails. Complete failure. And they try again a couple of years later. Okay, so we get the second attempt at colonisation in 1587, and this is at Roanoke Island, so just off the coast of Virginia. This is better. They take women, they take children, families. Okay, they're trying to build a home as opposed to just go over and conquer it. There's a better work ethic. The people that go are people that have had a hard life in London and are willing to work hard to improve the quality of their life, as opposed to just people that are looking for an easy life in a new place. These are grafters that they've taken with them. However, once again, the Native Americans are on this place and not willing to play ball. They're very hostile from the start. In fact, there are reports of the settlers being killed by the Indians. The settlers have tried to retaliate and get back, and they're not soldiers this time. So ironically, by not taking soldiers, they've actually hurt themselves a little bit more by just taking hard-working farmers. The leader of the expedition, a guy called John White, then returned to England to give the news and said, look, this has not gone well. Okay, we're really struggling. We need some help. He returns 3 years later in 1590, and the place is completely deserted. There are no English settlers anywhere. And in fact, even to this day, we don't actually know what happened to them. They've just vanished. Whether they were all killed by the natives, whether they escaped the island and went to live elsewhere, we genuinely don't know. Their bodies were never found. So, despite the failure of these settlements, despite the fact that Raleigh didn't really know what he was doing and didn't get involved and didn't go himself, that area that they tried to conquer is still known as Virginia, obviously named after the Virgin Queen, Queen Elizabeth. So technically you could argue that there was some success in taking off that land, that area is still known and named after Elizabeth I. So that's it. That's the end of the Elizabeth series. Make sure you check out the medicine and the Germany series that I've already got as well, and the Cold War series will be coming in the next few weeks, so make sure you check out that as well, and then you've got all 4 series ready to go for those exams that you're going to be seeing. Keep working hard, guys. Revision will pay off. You will thank me in August when you get those results. So keep going, and I'll see you later.